like let those other people's voices dominate what's supposed to be my own voice, you know. So as I kept growing up, I struggled a lot with mental health issues.
I love this, I love that, and you end up being in a very toxic environment, forgetting that you have to love yourself first and just like allow yourself to experience what love truly is.
But love can be your best friend that has never left you, your best friend that knows all your flaws, that knows you have made so many mistakes, but yet she's still there, he's still there.
We're not given this little freedom.
We were not
in the
exposed
family.
enough to freedom,
Exactly, and that little love to be like, hey, this is what you're supposed to be doing in varsity. Remember this, beware of this. That's how I show love.
Actually came with a glass of wine.
Wow.
I love you, Mom, but she came with a glass of wine to my room. She was like, okay, I want to see how you are when you drink.
But part of loving yourself is saying it's okay. It's okay to make mistakes. We need to move on. What's important from those mistakes is that we learn from it. What have we learned from it? What are we going to do to move on from that?
Sadness. Buried in unfamiliar sadness, which quietly seeps in like rain through the smallest crack. Left us with pain, too heavy to bother to patch. Hearts shattered, with not only a single, but a million quiet splinters. A vibrant, endlessly loving and kind soul like yours, full of colors, has left our worlds turned upside down. How will the sun ever shine again as bright as it ever did, when it stared down onto your soft and warm smile? How will our hearts go on, knowing you're no longer here, knowing the sound of your laughter is no longer near? A billion questions relentlessly ring through our ears, with the peep of silence, like a warning drum. What about all the dreams that you had? You've left us with heavy wounds, with bearing the thought of your life coming to an end. But God knows, the moment you closed your eyes, the heavens gave a soft and warm smile, just like yours. Now they get to hear the echoes of your sweet, sweet voice. In the midst of our eerily cries, where all our broken hearts lie, gone by sight, but never our hearts. As you lay your head to rest, the heavens rejoice. For this isn't the end. This is your new beginning. Tshepi, may your soul rest in eternal peace.
What is up, you guys? It's your girl Rene. Welcome to Campus Love Lounge, or welcome back if you're new here. As most of you already know, I am a student at SPU residing at Tawana Hall of Residence. If you haven't already, check out our previous awesome episodes and hit that subscribe button and join the family. In today's episode, as you guys can tell, I'm not here with one but two of my gorgeously amazing friends. I will allow them to introduce themselves. My ladies, the floor is yours.
Hey, what's up guys? It's your girl Sunset Phime from Sunset TV, and I'm grateful for being here in this episode of Love Lounge.
Hey guys, I am Zinhle, you know, the ambassador for Christ, advocate for Christ. It's lovely to be here. Thank you so much.
So we will be discussing the different forms of love. That's why we're gathered here as the three of us, because, you know, love isn't all about romantic love. It's not all about boyfriend and girlfriend. There's a lot more to that. First of all, love is God. And love is, you know, different forms of love. It's family, it's friends, friendship love, your love to your dog, or whatever like form of love that you have. It's
the best one out there.
One.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
So I'm going to start with self-love. That's another form of love. Growing up, I actually struggled a lot with that. I didn't know what self-love actually is. So I could say that it all comes to like finding your coping mechanism with whatever you're dealing with. Being kind to yourself. Because most of the time, I grew up being a perfectionist, you guys. I grew up being a perfectionist. Even now, still I am. I always beat myself up. So I think it comes to like being kind to yourself and really just learning how to accept yourself for who you are. Because I was bullied a lot in primary school. I was bullied a lot in primary school, and I always like let those other people's voices dominate what's supposed to be my own voice, you know. So as I kept growing up, I struggled a lot with mental health issues, and then I found God.
Yeah.
I found God, and I just really allowed myself to be in His presence, and I realized that, oh my God, if He loves me unconditionally, why should I worry about anything else, anybody else, you know? And I also like, even though I did find God, I eventually did slip in like depression and had more mental health issues, and then while being in His presence, I also used writing as a coping mechanism. And really, you never know what self-love is, guys. You don't know if it's physical love, you know, loving yourself enough to do your hair or something like that. But it all comes comes to accepting yourself for who you are, and just, you know, being kind to yourself.
And I feel like self-love also flows with like knowing the difference between actual love and also like attachment, because sometimes you can have this situation where you like I love this, I love that, and you end up being in a very toxic environment, forgetting that you have to love yourself first and just like allow yourself to experience what love truly is. So I guess so.
Through it also with the forms of love, she mentioned God's love, you know, spiritual type of love. I feel like if you know what God's love is, you are able to work on yourself as well, because you spend more time with Him, and spending more time with Him brings the best version out of yourself. So that way you also practice self-love more often, and it's much more easier for you to love yourself and for you to accept the fact that if I'm alone, it's okay. You know, I love my own company. I love being on my own, because I know that being alone doesn't necessarily mean that you are lonely. It just means that you respect yourself enough to be like, you know, I need to protect my peace. That is also a form of self-love.
And also just really accepting that it's okay not to be okay. Like adding on what she said, like knowing God's love enough to not chase around like looking for it elsewhere. I know a lot of people, you guys, that like seek validation elsewhere, you know, seek validation from people because they don't receive love from, you know, home or from their parents or something like that. I don't know, but it's really sad. Like,
I also want to touch on some pointers. When it comes to self-love, you should also always have boundaries. You have to know when to tell someone to be like, hey, can we please stop? I don't feel comfortable with this. So boundaries, guys, boundaries. It's
boundaries.
important.
Like it may be your best friend. It doesn't always have to be like boundaries in a romantic relationship. It can be your friend, your mom or your dad. I know with us like with us having black parents, it's kind of like hard to set boundaries, because it's like, you know, they have that mentality that it's my house, my child. But boundaries, it's very
respectfully,
important.
guys. Respectfully. You don't want to become like that, you know. We just gotta be respectful. But anyways,
And also, like, you know, we also have to touch on, like you said, the romantic type of love, because sometimes, because we have not practiced self-love, so we go out, like you said, looking for love elsewhere, and that's when we start to love other people that doesn't deserve our loves. You know, you find yourself loving someone that does not appreciate you. Find yourself loving someone that does not love you as much as you love them. And the moment they let go, they're no longer there in your life, it's very difficult to move on from that. You know, so we also need to practice, you know, to love ourselves, so when that person goes, we can say it's okay.
Exactly.
You know?
Like, otherwise you'll find yourself staying in a relationship with an abuser or an emotional abuser, and you make it okay. That comes back to like boundaries. You make it okay for people to treat you in a certain way, because you haven't really accepted yourself for who you are. You haven't dug up like self-love. You haven't, like, you know,
Yeah.
learn to love yourself.
And I also want to touch on the fact of having an absent family where you can like basically having love in an absent environment. Whether it's your father, your mother, your brother. Sometimes in a black community, we have those moments where they can't even express that type of love with them. And because sometimes these kids will just get used to that growing up, they'll think, oh, okay, this relationship is like that. That is love. And unfortunately, that's bad, you know.
Yeah. Or like maybe, sorry, I cut you. Or like maybe like kids growing up seeing how their parents are, or how they love one another. You know, sometimes in a I don't want to say a black community, but sometimes with like in a black community you'd see that like your parents grow up in such a certain way whereby the man is your father is the breadwinner. You know, he comes back home from work, your mom is the one that cooks, does everything and all of that, and you see them like there's absence in there, but you can't tell, and then you think it's okay for that, like you normalize that kind of love.
It's like growing up in an abusive home where your father is constantly beating up your mother, and now you think that, oh, it's okay to be in a relationship like that, you know, it's okay because that's how they express their loves. So also growing up in households can also create damages and wrong perspective of what is love, how is love, how should love be. So yeah, I just feel like people should do more research based on what is love, and not just stick to one type of love, but also explore different forms of love, you know, friendship type of love, brotherhood type of love, you know, not just romantic love, because when you think of love, what comes to your mind is romance. But love can be your best friend that has never left you, your best friend that knows all your flaws, that knows you have made so many mistakes, but yet she's still there, he is still there. That is love, you know, people that stick with you even though you have messed up so many times.
Exactly.
And also like the challenges of loving someone. We're talking about like receiving love, the challenges of receiving love in this type of manner, and then, you know, you not knowing how to express it or something like that. But there are also challenges with loving someone. Like there are people growing up literally, let's say maybe it's not an abusive home, but maybe you have I don't want to say drunkard. But like you have a parent that abuses substances, and then you're always the one that always has to take care of them, and then you find yourself in what they call codependency. Like you always have to save someone. You know, you grow up with that mentality of always having to save someone, always having to love someone that has problems. That's not up to you.
A psychological defect.
It's never up to you to stay in a relationship with someone if they are struggling in such a way whereby now they're enabling you and you're the one that always has to take care of them, whether it's your sister, your brother, you know, your parents, your boyfriend or girlfriend. It's never always up to you. If it's taking a toll on you and your mental health, then get out. That's a boundary, literally.
That's true.
That's self-love.
Always stick with those boundaries, guys. Come on,
guys. Can we just touch on the fact of how difficult it is for our parents to actually show us they actually love us, because sometimes they are so strict and you're like, like, does this woman really love me? She is so strict, she's so like, how do you guys feel about that, you know?
I feel like a lot of us, okay, I don't like to like specify, like she say, black communities and colored communities. I'm not sure about the white community, but sharp comment. But like most of these parents have trouble expressing how, like she's saying, they don't even know like to celebrate the small wins that we've done in life, and unfortunately that could like take a serious toll to like the adulting process of us. So I just want to tell you guys as parents, please give them a break. It's tough, okay? It's tough.
It really is, because then we grow up normalizing that love is not like you normalize the kind of love whereby you don't celebrate your child's wins. You constantly yell at them, like you're constantly looking for something to reprimand them of,
work harder. Hey, comparing also, comparisons amongst your relatives and everything. It's tough.
Yeah, it really is.
But sometimes that's just out of love, being strict. Because at the end of my mother used to be very strict. And I used to be like, woman.
Yeah, but look where it got you.
Literally. Exactly. It taught me a lot of things, a lot of values about life, how to act, how not to act, how to behave. I need to work for what I want, where I want to be. So sometimes that's the way they express their love. But
unfortunately, your parents are just lucky to have you because you're not doing all these crazy things. And I'm not saying, I'm not judging, but a lot of us, we go through like strict environments to a point where we enter varsity to all the first years, of course. We end up in like relationships and we do so many things because we're new to this. We were not given this little freedom.
We were not exposed
in the family.
enough to freedom,
Exactly, and that little love to be like, hey, this is what you're supposed to be doing in varsity. Remember this, beware of this. That's how I show love. So it's tough out there actually. Yeah.
Funny thing, I grew up like not going out, not drinking, not all of that. But I'm glad because then I got to find God before I did all of those stuff, But funny thing, what she's saying, like you grow up in such a strict environment that when you get to varsity now you want to start exploring a lot of things. My aunt had a conversation with my mom about that, and then she got away going, okay, my daughter is going to varsity. She doesn't have a lot of friends that she goes out with, She doesn't party, she doesn't drink. This woman literally came with a glass of wine.
Wow.
I love you, Mom, but she came with a glass of wine to my room. She was like, okay, I want to see how you are when you drink.
Whoa.
Okay. She's lucky to have someone like me because now I'm emotionally intelligent enough to like not fall into peer pressure, not want to explore this and this and that. She exposed me a little bit to freedom before I went away from home. So yeah, we're hard on our parents, but we don't get it. We don't have kids, so we don't get it. And that brings us to like absent love, you guys. Like how you said, some parents don't really know how to express love. You get those parents whereby you guys only talk when she or he tells you to cook or to do that. You don't get to talk about a lot of things in life. You don't get to talk about the important stuff or like just express your feelings and all of that. And then you feel like your parent doesn't know you, or then that starts bringing it back to like, oh, maybe they don't love me or something like that, like you're not good enough.
And then you search for validation amongst other people. So yeah.
And also because sometimes you can't even say I'm gonna go talk to my mother to be like, I want to talk to her and to open up to you, because the way they respond, the feedback is not always great.
I tried. I have experience with that.
And then we get to university, especially first years, and like teachers will always tell you, you'll find your soulmate in university. And then you come to university and the first guy that winks at you, you're just like, he might be my soulmate.
Exactly.
And then when the guy breaks up with you 2-3 weeks later, you feel like it's the end of the world. It is not, like, what are our opinions based on it? Because many people come with to university thinking they're gonna find their soulmates, and then they find a lot of players. How can they dive into the reality of university? Is not always about finding soulmates, but it's about figuring out the different types of people that are out there. That yes, you are gonna meet people that are likewise to your interests, but they're not always good for you. Because sometimes you just dive into it, and then at the end of the day, in 1 year you had so many boyfriends and so many heartbreaks, and you're so damaged.
Yeah, university is about finding yourself. That's
I was about to say that, period.
Yeah, it's literally
It's about finding yourself.
Not your soulmate.
Yeah.
yourself first, and then soulmate after 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
But be that girl that when a guy comes up to you and like, hi beautiful, can I get your number? You're like, no. Why do you want my number? To talk about what?
Let's be honest.
You know.
Let's be honest. Come on now, let's be honest. It's not easy, but yeah.
It's not easy. Yeah, that's actually what I'm practicing.
Yeah.
It's not easy because they have this way of manipulating you, but then you have to remind yourself like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
it's not gonna work out.
I also want to say, you can go.
I was gonna say that you remind me of my younger self. Like, I used to be so uptight. When a guy comes up to me, I'd be like, dude, I'm literally in primary school and you want my number for what?
Yeah. But I also want to like touch on the fact that like, it's okay to make mistakes too, Yeah, like it's part of finding yourself, so it's okay to make mistakes.
Yeah, if you don't have like that moment where you look back and you're like, okay, I messed up there and there, but I forgive myself now. If you don't have that moment, then you're not growing.
Yeah. Basically growing. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
It is tough to make a mistake and you like forgive yourself for making that mistake.
That's
Because you
true.
feel like you need to be perfect, you need to. But part of loving yourself is saying it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to make mistakes. We need to move on. And what's important from those mistakes is that we learn from it. What have we learned from it? What are we going to do to move on from that, to not make the same mistake?
Yeah. And I guess in conclusion, I could say that everything that we talked about, like, literally it's really hard to love yourself with like having different experiences that you experienced in your childhood. We have people that have traumas, so many traumas that you don't know how to deal with it. It's hard to you don't know how to love yourself with all of that. Like we have scars, people.
Yeah.
We have skeletons in the closets. We have a lot that we're dealing with. But the one thing that you guys can take from this is that it's okay. Literally, it's okay. If you've experienced something in the past and you don't really know how to deal with that, just take a moment back and be like, okay, if this and this and that is triggering me, I'm gonna take it slow. I'm gonna sit back and just like give it a break. If relationships trigger a certain kind of trauma, take a break. Literally, maybe you wanna be there, but then ask yourself why. Is it because you're seeking for love? Because you can give that to yourself. You can find God. You can find yourself. So just allow yourself to breathe.
Yeah.
Also, to add on what you said, if you're struggling to find love, focus on God, because He will literally tell you everything about love. He will show you everything about love. I mean, we make so much mistakes. Each and every day we make a mistake, but He loves us and He forgets. If you are in a relationship with someone, whether it's a friend, whether it's your boyfriend, and you make a mistake and He can't forgive, He says, I forgive, but I don't forget. Forgiveness is forgetting.
Literally.
So you need to also learn that if this guy's not going to forgive me, no.
Yeah.
I don't want this. Being with God shows you that you need to be loved with compassion. You need to be treated with kindness. If love does not have that, then what are you still doing there?
Yeah.
Because I just feel like that helps us as well, because you need to, love is being with someone, helping them grow. Love is being with someone and pointing out their flaws to help them grow, to help them realize that love is not covering up their flaws and saying it's okay because you're not helping me grow. So be very specific on love. And how I found out about love and what I want in a relationship is through God, guys. He literally reveals everything to you. So patience, and just try to spend time with God and learn and embrace. They say God is love.
Exactly.
So if He's love, He will know everything about love. By spending time with Him.
Yeah, and I want to say, take one step at a time, people. One step
Don't
at
rush.
a time. Come on now, because it's not easy. It really seek help also, because you can't do this alone.
Yep.
Literally.
And notice how a lot of people are always like, love hurts. Guys, no. Love is peaceful. Love is peace, literally. If you find yourself in a place whereby you're with someone and just being around that person, it's just peaceful. That's love. That's true love. Forgiving and forgetting, we're not saying that the thing is just gonna magically disappear from your brain. We're just saying that I'm gonna forgive you to the point whereby I'm never gonna like bring this up again. Because, you know.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yep. That is love. That is love, is seeing beyond your flaws, because I want to be with you, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah. I guess that's it, eh?
Yeah, that's it. On that note, we have lost someone at SPU. Someone who was a vibrant soul, very kind. Tshepang Moahang. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her surname correctly. I wanted to touch on that. Like, speaking of love, right? Like, you can love a stranger, you guys. It's completely normal. I attended drama with Tshepi. We know her as Tshepi. Her name is Tshepang, but we called her Tshepi. I attended drama with her. She did drama, and she was in my class. We were in the same. We did like similar modules. You know, we did the same course. Like, I didn't know her personally. You know, like, okay, she was always around me and all of that, but it was never to the point where we got to actually know one another, sit and have a one-on-one conversation. But when I found out about the news, it hurt. You guys, it really hurt, and then it just brought me back to thinking that you can actually love someone without even knowing them. Love is God. But condolences to her family, her friends, everyone in SPU. If you didn't really know her but it's hurting, we see you. You guys are seen, you guys are heard. It's okay. In this difficult moment, I pray that God provides them with healing and comfort and peace. And you guys want to add anything on that?
No.
I would just like to say that to the family out there, to the friends, you know, God heals the broken hearts. He puts oil on those wounds. So it's tough now. We don't have all the answers to why. But all I can say is condolences. Jesus loves you guys no matter what. And I'm sure wherever she is, she's celebrating in heaven.
Yeah.
So,
In the poem that I did, the last lines were like, the heavens rejoice, but this isn't the end. This is your new beginning. This is her new beginning with God. And may her soul rest in eternal peace.
Fly high, butterfly.
So that concludes everything, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you stayed here till this long and you haven't hit the subscribe button, hit it. Share, like, comment, you know, all of the above.
To the highest level.
Yes, period.
Bye.
And we will see you guys next time. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.